I bet you're asking yourself a question right now, and that is, how long will this last? And at the same time, how long can this last? And of course, I'm referring to the Tier 5 national lockdown here in Britain, the strictest lockdown this country has ever known in its history, including during the Blitz during World War II. It's been locked down now even harsher and tighter. And we're starting to ask ourselves, how long will this last and how long can this last? And if you remember a week ago, they sold us that this would be a 6-week endeavor. February 16th was, I think, the number they bandied about. And yet by the time they got to Parliament, they seemed to write into law that the measures could be in place until March 31st. It was kind of the fine print that went in there. And they said, yeah, maybe March 31st. Now we're hearing that pubs won't open until May. And of course, Matt Hancock, the health secretary, on the Andrew Marr show on Sunday said all the adults should be vaccinated by autumn. So then everything should be okay by autumn. And as we can see, they are pushing this date back further and further and further and just conditioning us to this lasting longer and longer and longer. This is how you get a population to comply. And it's working. And yet right now, what's happening is unacceptable. Our children can't go to school. We're not allowed to go to work. You're not allowed to earn a living. You're not allowed to leave your home. And throughout the country, we've seen these grotesque displays of arresting people out in the countryside walking with peppermint tea because they're on a picnic. We've seen people arrested on the seaside because they are apparently out for their daily walk, but they can't be there. And now we're being told by the government that stricter measures are coming. Stricter measures, which means maybe no mixing with people outside, wearing masks at work, maybe wearing masks in the home. It's hard to imagine that that's going to make any difference here. And I think it's time that we finally talk to ourselves and say, this is about control versus elimination. That's what this is, control versus elimination. And if we are really going to eliminate this probably isn't possible. And I got police officers right now behind me, scoping me, trying to see if I should be doing this. Look at them. They were about to stop me there, I think. But I'm a broadcaster, so I'm allowed to do this. We'll see if I keep challenging the government narrative, if I will be allowed to do this. And that is going to be very interesting if the freedom of the press goes. We've already seen them challenging that with censorship on our digital platforms, and our regulators here, Ofcom, will see if they start getting me to stop talking about these things. But I'm talking about it because I care about our future. And we have scenarios like focus protection where we can challenge and we can actually protect the elderly and those vulnerable, but get the healthier people back to work. Otherwise, how will this economy stay going? How can we pay for the NHS? And I did a Real Deal on Friday. You can watch it. It was 90 minutes. And I talked about a recent study done by a professor in Bristol that calculated with a 9% decrease in the economy, that's going to cost 560,000 lives. More lives lost than Britain lost during the Second World War, both military and civilian. That's just from the contraction in the economy. Why aren't we talking about that number? We're not. We're talking about that one daily statistic that they show you. Look over here, panic, 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 and change what's going to be happening for the next 10 years based on this one number. They don't show us smoking-related deaths. They don't show us deaths due to heart disease. They just show us this one number and lock us in our homes and don't talk about the mental health implications, the implications on our younger generation, the implications on our long-term economy. This is real. And we now have to start thinking about the control of this virus versus the elimination, because I don't know about you, but the science is not showing that we can eliminate this. No matter how hard you lock us down, we need to find a way to live with this virus. So please leave your comments below. Also leave your comments if you think the press should still be free and I should be allowed to broadcast these messages, because that might come in question too at some point. Again, without freedom of speech, we have no freedoms. We have to keep talking about these ideas, and a lot of people are feeling this. So please leave a comment, share this in case the algos don't allow me to share it. And we're going to keep going here. We're going to keep moving forward. We need new leadership. We need a leader who innovates and educates and solves problems. I don't see any of that right now. We see leaders now that use fear to get you to do things you don't want to do. We need science-based decision-making and a proportional response to the virus. That's why I'm taking London in a new direction. On May 6th, you get to decide the next 3 years of your life. On May 6th, you get to vote. Choose wisely.